Well, my next guest is an immigration attorney here in Texas. Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch is back on the James Show. Kate, welcome back. We now have deportations happening across Texas. I think 80 were rounded up over the weekend here in the Dallas area, but also some protests. Now, if you are advising an immigrant, legal or illegal, would you caution them against going to protest and public rallies like this, or is this completely safe?
Well, safe, and I think, ICE may start going to the places where immigrants are known to gather, and a rally might be something like that. The secure locations memo was revoked, meaning that schools and churches and hospitals and shelters are all not considered safe locations anymore. And so I think the key thing for any immigrant, particularly an undocumented immigrant, is to really consider each action in their lives and how risky it is and whether it's worth it. So somebody may decide that it's worth it to them to go to a rally because it's that important. It's a personal decision, but it's, I was at a rally on Sunday and I don't have immigration concerns about myself, and it felt a little, scary to look around in the crowd and see who was there. There weren't any counter protesters, but that's always possible.
Okay, so there's one happening at Dallas City Hall this Sunday at 2 in the afternoon, and I don't know. I thought you would say just stay off the radar. It's not worth it, but you actually have a little bit of gray area in there, Kate.
Well, people are living their own lives and making their own decisions, and some people might just feel so upset about what's happening that they really have to go be out there amongst like-minded people and have some community. There's something uplifting about being in a rally with people who are as incensed as you are about something. But it's always a, decision for a person to make. An example is right now, I'm telling people that the domestic airports are a lot less secure than they used to be for immigrants because we're seeing a lot of ICE activity and TSA requesting visas, et cetera, in domestic airport flights. And so, someone might decide that it's worth it to take that risk to visit a dying relative, but probably wouldn't want to do that to go to Disney World,
Yeah, maybe I'm just not the rally type. I've never protested or rallied for anything. Even if when the Mavericks win the Super Bowl, I don't even go to that parade. Or Mavericks win the Super Bowl when they win the NBA championship. I'm just not a rally guy.
I'm a rally girl, so I understand people wanting to go.
Fun stuff. All right, so what's coming next with the deportations? They say they're just going to stick with criminals, but they're going to run out of them at some point. What do you think happens after that?
Well, that's not what's been happening. A lot of people have been caught up in collateral arrest. They're definitely detaining people who don't have criminal histories.
They're just adjacent to the people when the raid happens, yeah.
Yeah, and I had a client pulled over with his U.S. citizen wife and kids in the back seat. He's undocumented, and the plates were from another state, so he got pulled over. He had no criminal history, and ICE came and took him. So definitely it's not just the criminals who are being caught up. But there is a lot happening. Just today, the Lincoln-Riley Act was signed.
My next question, yeah.
Yeah, and he is announcing an executive order to open up the 30,000-person camp in Guantanamo Bay. So it's fast and furious right now.
Well, look, I think the Guantanamo Bay sounds funny in a headline, but I imagine that's going to just get lawsuits thrown all over it. Is there any precedence for using Guantanamo for illegal immigrants?
For immigration, no, not that I know of. Of course, we all know what it has been used for. In my experience, immigration often does detain people in remote and rural locations that are hard to get to for advocates. I remember working on a lawsuit many years ago where there was some information that came out in discovery and an email between DHS officials saying, let's not put the detention center there. It's awfully close to this big city, and there's a lot of lawyers there. And so I think one thing about Guantanamo is it would be really hard for someone like me to get to help my clients there. Hopefully this would be blocked through litigation. But, I think what they're doing right now is trying to just flood so many policies out all at once that the impact litigators and the ACLUs and all of that, they're scrambling just to stop birthright citizenship and federal funding and everything else right now.
So what's your take? I haven't talked to you since the Colombia president sort of standoff went down. How does that look from the point of view of an immigration attorney?
You know, when I first saw the refusal to accept the flight, I mean, in principle, I think it's nice to see that, you know, other countries might not be sort of acquiescing to these actions. But I think that the response of the administration, if they've got a bunch of detainees who are set to be deported and they are not getting their travel papers, typically the response is to just keep that person in detention. And it's really, really hard on people. You know, I've worked with people who are stateless or from places like Somalia, and they can't get travel permission to be deported. And the result is that they stay just waiting for months and months and months until they can file a federal lawsuit. So for these actual Colombian people, it's not ultimately better for them. I'm sure they would rather be on a plane and be in their home country than be stuck in detention for another 6 months.
Are you going to another rally this weekend?
I don't know of any, but I am. Yes, I am. That was already on the calendar.
Yeah, we have like 4 of them happening within like a 20-mile radius of the station. So that seems to be the cool thing. You know, that's the hot thing the kids are doing this winter. Just let's do some rallies every once in a while. Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, thank you very much for your immigration expertise on the James Show. Where do they find you outside of WBAP?
You can look me up on my last name, Lincoln, like the president, Goldfinch, like the bird. I'm all over all the socials and the internet.
Thank you very much. Good to talk to you again, Kate.
You too.
Don't get arrested.